My name is Áine. I'm a painter and an art teacher, and for a number of years I've been using these amazing brushes by Rosemary and Co. I actually inherited this brush from a friend of mine who sadly passed away, and I couldn't find where he bought it, and I had been using it for years and wasn't able to recommend to the people who come to my watercolour workshops where to get the brush, until I found it eventually advertised as a varnishing brush in a magazine, and I was delighted then. So I've since developed, so it's since actually become my set now for Rosemary and Co. And I have the 2-inch brush, and I was delighted then to be able to get the 1.5-inch brush and the 1-inch brush. So the 3 of those are in my set, and there's a lot of uses for these brushes. I love how you're able to very swiftly explain the whole edge of a face, the side of a face in shadow. And what I often recommend to people when they go to paint a portrait from life, I recommend that we look with our eyes half closed, in order that you can see the darks and lights, the general darks and lights that make up the landscape of the face. And these brushes allow me to make those big shadow shapes that run along the side of the face. They say it's like the bass in music, the shadows hang it all together. And so these brushes, this particularly the big 2-inch brush, allows me to quickly establish those darks. And so already you're halfway there after a few moves. And there's something quite kind of, I guess it makes you feel confident holding a brush like this. You have to be decisive in the marks that you make, and it encourages you to feel brave as well. And I think any of us who approach a blank canvas or a blank piece of paper, we recognise that feeling of nervousness and everything. And anything that allows you to feel brave is a great thing. And the reason that I think it allows you to feel, it just feels good. Holding it in your hand, you feel like you've got a weapon. And then you're able to make these big sweeping statements. Like, for example, I could establish a full body just with a sweep of the brush, flinging the paint on. You can splash on the direction that the body's going in. And then you can make, let me just show you actually. You can make a clear, concise mark to explain, for example, the edge of the face, because this brush comes to such a fine razor sharp edge. You're able to find, you're able to print a clean edge on that represents the edge of the face. And of course you could use the smaller brush to print the smaller parts on. Another way to use the brush, and I mean there's tons of ways of using these brushes, so I'd like you to actually take a piece of paper, go outdoors so you're not ending up with balls like mine here, and to practice using the brush. Just, you can splash the paint on, you can flood the area with water. A waterfall of water can take, it can make you surprised, and I think it's really important for us to feel surprised by the surface we're working on, because that encourages the kind of freshness that our creative artist the inner artist is excited by, and we want to always remain inspired. I think doing big moves with these brushes mean that boredom doesn't creep in. You're making chance essential. That's a quote that I love from Paul Klee. Make chance essential. And using big brushes, you can't be tentative. You are going to make marks that count every time. So the other thing I was going to explain was a way that you can, I also encourage people to remember to breathe. But the way that you can place the edge of the face and pull to explain a whole load of skin, but you've carefully placed the edge, so you've got the direction the edge of the face is going in, and then you can occupy the space with the skin colour, and you can do that again and again. So in no time at all you've established the general sweep of the shadows on the face. And another favourite quote of mine is by Cézanne, who said, "My painting holds hands and comes up together." And in working with these brushes, you can make things like, you can make the hair happen really swiftly by splashing on the paint in one direction, and then you can place the edge and pull it to describe the neck. You can do the dark of the upper lip, or the dark of the nostril there. Let's just see, the underside of the nose can be described with a couple of moves. maybe you hold the brush this way if the paint is running thin, so that you can pull it up and let it run back down. You could paint the shape of the upper lip. And all of these things allow you to bring your painting up together. All of these things mean that you can keep the surface of the painting alive all the time. And so I really recommend you give these brushes a go. They're absolutely fantastic. One thing I meant to say as well is that before I finish, is that what I often do is to begin the painting with the 2-inch brush and establish things like the hair, the body, and the shadows on the skin, maybe in the first minute or 2 minutes. And then to come back in once it's dried a little bit. So you've created an inspiring surface to describe the hair, something that's exciting to describe the body, and something that's kind of loose and exciting to describe the shadows on the face. And then you can focus in just like a camera does. Now it's not that you suddenly become tight, but you can create a bit more with more ease the shadow shapes within these bigger shadow shapes with the slightly smaller brushes. But I would always keep your 2-inch brush close to hand, so that anytime you feel yourself becoming tentative or tight, that you can splash from the shoulder in a big sweeping stroke, and that's good medicine for us. You know, already I'm feeling a bit tight here, so I'm going to relax there. But it's a really good exercise for us to be able to loosen up all the way through the painting process and not to feel as though we're suddenly honing in and becoming detailed. The way of working with these brushes allows your portrait to emerge gradually from the painting surface. It's almost like the painting is telling you what it wants you to. It's almost like the painting is unfolding and you're surprised yourself at what's happening. And these brushes allow you to create layers where the painting is emerging, rather than drawing it and then colouring it in, you know. So I guess while it's possible to do line, I guess a lot of what I do with these brushes is to create areas of tone that somehow build up the form, more so than using line. And because I've got these wide brushes, I can make areas of tone happen with ease, you know. I think that's all I want to say for now. Okay. I wanted to do this in the same way as I paint a picture with these brushes. I wanted to speak in a concise way, paint in a concise way. I wanted to remain fluid in the way that I speak. I don't know if I've achieved that. And the third thing I want to do when I can't think of it now, what is it? Oh yeah, be clear. I want to be clear. So I want to have clarity in my work, and my tools are these brushes, not really words. So I recommend that you use these brushes and give them a go. All the very best.